Welcome to Cloud with an Edge, where we dive into everything you need to know to kickstart your career in cloud engineering. Whether you're a total beginner or looking to transition into the cloud, this channel will be your guide to unlocking opportunities in the cloud. Let's jump right into it. What skills do you need to become a successful cloud engineer? As a cloud engineer, you'll need to master these core areas: virtualization, networking, operating systems, storage, databases, scripting, or coding. Don't worry, I'll break it down for you step by step in a bit. Having a degree in computer science or information technology provides a strong foundation in fundamental topics like databases, programming languages, networking, and operating systems, which is essential for understanding cloud computing. But if you lack a tech degree, do not worry, because there are various online courses that are available to help you gain these skills. For instance, Cantril offers a free tech fundamentals course that is designed to provide you with essential technical knowledge needed for success in the tech industry. This tech covers a wide range of topics, including the OSI 7-layer model, decimal to binary conversions for IP addressing and subnetting, DNS, and more. Find the link to the course in the video description. So now we move on to the key areas that I just talked about earlier. First up, we have virtualization. This is an absolute must for understanding cloud computing. The cloud relies on virtualization, so knowing the difference between virtualization and hypervisors is key. It's also important to know the various types of hypervisors and their variances. For instance, Type 1 hypervisors run on bare metal directly, while Type 2 hypervisors operate on top of an existing operating system. I've included a link in the description to help you dive deeper into this topic, so be sure to check it out. Next, let's talk networking. Having a strong foundation in networking is a must for cloud engineers. You will need to grasp key concepts like IP addressing, subnets, routing, firewalls, load balancing, DNS, and protocols. You can get these networking skills through free online courses like the Cantril course that I talked about. When I was learning, I found a valuable IP addressing and subnetting workbook that really boosted my skills. I've included two versions in the video description, and one is a blank workbook that you can practice with, and another one is filled with all the answers. So be sure to check the video description for a link to download those workbooks. So the Cantril networking course and more resources for mastering IP addressing and subnetting fundamentals. Remember, solid networking knowledge is vital for any aspiring cloud engineer, so please be sure to check out those resources. Moving on to operating systems. Linux is your best friend here. Understanding operating systems is crucial. I recommend starting with Linux because it powers most computing systems. When I started out, I took an ed course called Linux Fundamentals, and this gave me a strong base in Linux command line, file systems, processes, and other key topics. I have put a link to that course down in the video description, so be sure to check it out if you want to master the fundamentals of Linux. Storage is another vital component. In order to access and interact with data, it has to be stored somewhere, right? So, storage devices. You will need to learn and understand the differences between block storage, object storage, and file storage. I have put a link explaining the types of storage, and you can find this in the video description. For example, AWS provides block storage using Elastic Block Store, which we call EBS, object storage through Simple Storage Service, which people refer to as S3, and shared file storage through Elastic File System or EFS. Next, we move to databases. Understanding database technologies and management is also very crucial. You need to know the difference between relational databases like MySQL and non-relational ones like MongoDB, and you also need to know when to use each of them. A good cloud engineer knows the basics like installing and configuring a database engine, creating, updating, and deleting records, which is also known as CRUD operations, troubleshooting common issues like a slow database, like tuning, resource management, etc. And also by resource management, I mean memory, CPU, etc. etc. This foundation will help you leverage the database services from providers like AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. We move to the next one, which is scripting or coding. Learning the basic scripting is key for any cloud engineer. Scripts allow you to automate tasks and efficiently manage cloud resources. Languages like Bash, Python, and PowerShell are all useful to know. With just a basic script, you can spin up cloud resources, configure settings, run updates, and more with just a few lines of code. It's important to understand syntax basics like loops, functions, variables. It's also important to understand how to execute and troubleshoot scripts. And lastly, it's important to understand security considerations like preventing exposed credentials. With some scripting fundamentals, you will unlock the ability to easily automate cloud management. Last but not least, we'll talk about cloud training and getting certified. So once you have all these fundamentals down, you can dive into the exciting world of cloud computing. I recommend starting with AWS because they're the market leader and have the most opportunities, but the skills you get from AWS are also transferable to other computing companies. For AWS, you can start with a Certified Cloud Practitioner certification and you work your way up. The exams can be quite pricey, but they're worth it to validate your real-world skills. You can also explore online platforms like the AWS Skill Builder, Coursera, Udemy, edX, Cantril, and YouTube. These have a wide range of courses covering AWS and other cloud platforms. You can supplement this with hands-on experience in a free tier AWS account. Remember, it's not just about passing exams. Just focus deeply on understanding the services. This knowledge will pay off tremendously in your career. I know of people who started off their cloud engineering journey with the CSOPs, Administrator Associate certification, before the Cloud Practitioner certification existed, and then they got their DevOps Engineer Pro certification or credential afterwards. So my advice would be focus on understanding the services, not just memorizing to pass exams, which is what a lot of people do. When you understand the concepts, you can architect creative solutions. If you learn just to pass the exams, then you won't reap the full benefits later in your career. So take the time upfront to genuinely learn, and it will pay off as you advance to higher level roles. Thank you for joining me on this overview of the essential skills for a cloud engineer. Remember, the resources I've mentioned are all linked in the description box below, so be sure to check them out. And if you found this video helpful, do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with all things cloud. Until next time, keep reaching for the clouds. Bye-bye.